analytic writers, this is data, it's not necessarily opinions, driven by data, ranked the NFL rosters going into a season. Now, a lot of it's predictable. At the top, it's Baltimore, Philly, Detroit, Buffalo, Kansas City, a lot of that stuff. Bottom, it's your Saints and your Giants and your Jets, whatever. But what's really interesting to me, smack dab in the middle, right smack dab in the middle, Green Bay Packers 14, Chicago Bears 15. Even though the Packers have dominated that rivalry, it's a great rivalry. It is a great rivalry. NFC North is up for grabs. And if the NFL, between the Packers and Bears, is a head coach and quarterback league, and it is, that it's Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love against Ben Johnson, another offensive coach, and another athletic quarterback, Caleb Williams. That is great for one of the NFL's best rivalry. And I think what makes Caleb Williams so fascinating and why the Bears are going to be such a great watch, nobody disputes his talent. Arm, athleticism, escapability, and toughness. I have a general manager in my kind of source group who's a critic of Caleb Williams. Doesn't know what the outcome's going to be. He acknowledges tough, big, explosive arm, and insanely evasive. Nobody disputes that. What it really comes down to Caleb Williams is coachability. Creative, strong, those are traits. We know that's great. But all of the things he struggles with are improvable, are coachable. He holds on to the ball too long. You can coach your way out of that. He misses layups, easy stuff. You can coach your way out of that. Sometimes I think he plays a little hero ball from time to time. You can coach your way out of that. You can't get bigger and stronger and faster. That's not going to work. So all of his traits are correctable and coachable. And, I'll give you an example. Pocket presence. Well, Lamar Jackson came into the NFL with none, and now he's excellent. Lamar Jackson is not only a great athlete, he's clearly smart and coachable. He did not have much of a pocket presence. He just ran and escaped. He knows what he's doing in the pocket now. He's a real pro and has been for years. Josh Allen, accuracy, was inaccurate at Wyoming, inaccurate in the NFL. Now he's very accurate. That's coachable. Size, arm, moving around, dynamic is not. So when you look at Bo Nix, he's either going to be good, which he is now, or very good. When you look at Jaden Daniels, he's either going to be great or a legend. There is such a wide range of outcomes for Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I think okay. I'll start where Colin ended there because I think Bo Nix, we talk about a wide range of Caleb Williams. I think his floor is already really good, right? Like he'll be really good. I don't see how Caleb takes a nosedive. I don't see how Caleb at the minimum isn't like the 25th best quarterback in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, will he achieve the levels of greatness that people believe that he can? Right? That is a question mark, and we have to wait and see. And that's what I'm excited to find out. But it's just, to me, it becomes very straightforward. Pretty much kind of what Colin was saying in terms of all of the skill sets and attributes that he has going for him and what he's already been able to do in the NFL. I look at that, and to me, it's actually kind of perfect, because people talked about how Caleb could have a problem going into the NFL because of his personality, who he is as a person. Like it was a lot of more like personal, personal digs at him, so to speak. And to me, he passed with flying colors last year and showed a level of resilience that I don't see. Think about the quarterbacks. Like we talk about some of these great quarterbacks. Talk about the quarterbacks that were not great. The quarterbacks whose career were not able to push forward. Are not proving to be successful. Will Levis, for instance, right? Like Will Levis, despite great circumstance, not in great circumstances, but did not show a level of resiliency and a base level of talent and success that we've already seen a Caleb Williams do. And so it's just like, you have to take that as a lesson learned. You can't just downplay that or dismiss that because he didn't achieve what either you thought he was going to achieve in year one or what other people were trying to sell you on. And I do like that Colin's talking about coachability, because this is something that I'm always up against in the comment section of the importance of coaching. And I actually just saved a clip of Travis Kelce at like the tight end U or whatever it's called with Greg Olsen and whatnot. And he's teaching, I think it was like kind of how, I forget exactly. I think it was like kind of certain routes of the clip that I saw. And I was just like, here's Travis Kelce teaching something, right? One of the greatest tight ends of all time. And yet people think that these great players are just magically great. And I really did have this aha moment a few weeks ago, actually, like on the more recent side, where people really do just look at football as like, these guys are just inevitable, or they're just magically great just because. And they see it as like it's like people going through puberty, where it's just very much like, yeah, you're just going to keep getting older and you're going to get taller and you're going to get stronger and like you're going to start having facial hair. Like it's just like a guarantee. And it's just not. It's anything but that. It is not, we talk about some of these players doing like serious hard work and stuff, and it's like, who do you think's coaching them? Who do you think's teaching them? Who do you think is studying their mechanics and saying, no, your arm is dropping. No. You can't step like that. And like that was one of the things that Travis Kelce was teaching, kind of like how you step, how to still stay strong. Like he's teaching things that I look at this point in my life, not necessarily 100% football related, but you almost are kind of like, oh yeah, like of course that's obvious. And it's like, I have to remember now at this point, it's like, well, I'm older than I was, before. And so it's just like some of this stuff is not basic knowledge anymore. And you have to learn it for the first time eventually, or you have to have it reinforced. And if someone like Travis Kelce is coaching it and teaching it at a tight end, a training camp essentially, or, like training seminar or something, it's like, well, then it needs to be taught. And it needs to be taught to even athletes who are clearly on their path to achieving great things and working with literally Travis Kelce. And it's the same thing with quarterbacks, obviously. And so when I look at something like this, the Bears ranked, as 15th best roster. And I actually really appreciate that this is 100% analytical and not opinion based, or at least that's the way how Colin, described it. And I actually love that right now, because it's not opinion based, and it actually gives me more to work with now, because it's just analytics. And I'm like, well, I don't think the analytics actually have an accurate portrayal of many guys on this team, Caleb Williams being one of them. And actually there's enough players that were on this team last year where it was such a mess that any of if you're reaching conclusions based off of just strict analytics, well, then I think you're going to get a lot of underperforming, quite frankly. It's like if I'm, I'm really accurate, but I had a coach who was like, I want you to, I don't believe in any passes under 10 yards. I want you to just throw nothing but 20, 30-yard passes, play after play after play. That's my philosophy. And so I'm going to have a year where I'm probably not going to be as accurate. My completion percentage is going to go down because I'm not able to bulk up my stats with some of these nice, easy 5, 10-yard passes. And so you're looking at me analytically and you're like, oh God, this guy's completion percentage is not that good and he's not that accurate. And it's like, well, that's not really the whole story here. Like, that's not fair. You have a lot of incompletions. That's what the analytics would show, right? And it's just like, well, now this coming year, I have a coach who's a lot more well-rounded, who actually understands what it takes to win, who's going to put me in more consistent positions to succeed. He is going to set me up with some nice 3-yard passes, 5-yard passes, 8-yard passes. He's not going to make me throw the ball 30 times and nothing but 20, 30-yard passes. And again, it's obviously a silly example, but I think it paints a stark picture of just like, how misleading analytics can be on the most surface level. And so I think this infiltrates the wide receivers, the running game. I feel as though if you're looking at this strictly analytically, first off, even so, make no mistake about it, 15th best roster isn't even the worst case scenario. I mean, it's essentially a playoff team, and you have to now bake in the elevation of coaching, that you have to imagine that if you have analytically the 15th best roster, if you believe that you have top coaching, elite coaching, and a quarterback who has room to take a gigantic step forward, analytically then this becomes the 8th best roster, the 10th best roster, the 6th, but whatever it may be, which again, it's like, I mean, like you can't ask for just a top 2, top 3 roster like right away. Like it's just not the way it happens. So all in all, I actually think it's a good foundation, a good starting point to build off of. Even if we were saying that the analytics are actually 100% accurate and completely predictive, I still think it's a great starting point when you have a new coach, a young quarterback to again build off of, because you're not working with the 32nd worst roster, right? You're not working with like the worst defense, no weapons, no like you don't have to deal with that and now try to figure out a way through. You're like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe we really do just have an average roster. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what our floor is. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what my quarterback or coach really looks like when the roster is bad. At the end of the day, like it doesn't actually matter. It's impressive. It's impressive when we see a coach or a quarterback or whatever, make do with a really rough roster with like a whole bunch of injuries. And it's like, it's cool. And it makes you respect them, right? Like I respect Sean McVay or Andy Reid more when I see them having to deal with all of the injuries and overcome. I respect Matt LaFleur more when I saw what he was able to do with some backup quarterbacks. It's like, okay, that's impressive to me. But when we're looking at things from a bigger picture, from a big picture perspective, it doesn't actually matter. You're never expecting your team to win a Super Bowl with the 30th best roster in the NFL. If your team gets decimated with injuries and you missing your wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 2 guys on your O-line are down, your run game is nothing and your defense is trash, like, would it be pretty fun to watch your coach and quarterback make something out of nothing and still win 8-9 games and maybe flirt with a wild card seed? Like, absolutely. And that's cool. And again, it'll make you tip your hat and respect them more. But are you expecting them to win a Super Bowl? Of course not. Of course not. So it's just like, that's where it's always interesting to me when we kind of have these kind of conversations. It's especially when we're talking about quarterbacks, like doing more with less or carrying a team, or, well, can he win without all the pieces around him? And it's like, maybe he can, and that conversation is maybe a little bit more important when you're looking at it through the individual lens of a player or a coach when trying to see how do they compare to the other players, either current or former, or coaches current or former. But if you're looking at it through the team lens, like it kind of doesn't matter, because you're like, well, I need my organization, I need my GM, my owner to build a great team. Because that's how you win a Super Bowl. That's how you win the division. That's how you consistently are a playoff team. So that's where these conversations always get a lot more interesting the more you unpack them. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears, ranked as the 15th best roster? The expectations for Caleb Williams in year 2. We've obviously been talking a lot about Caleb and Ben Johnson and what we expect. So I appreciate that this is like a slightly different take on this conversation. It's not just kind of the same thing. So that's why I appreciate a list now that's going to be a little bit more analytically driven, which again gives us a different direction to work with. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.